Hey guys, today is Monday, April the 13th, 2020, and this is the first video in sort of a beta rollout of our trading system that I've been using for quite some time with a lot of success, some failure. It's a work in progress. It's a system that I'm still refining, especially in today's current market volatility, but it's something that I think has a lot of value, and I think I'm going to call it the 5% per week solution. This is a program where I'm looking to trade the S&P futures on a 0 data expiration cycle. So it would be every Monday, every Wednesday, and every Friday. It is basically a 3-hour trade 3 times a week. So we enter it about 10:30 in the morning Mountain Time. Exit it about a half hour before the market closes, which would be 1:30 Mountain Time, Mountain Daylight Time. About a 3-hour hold. Looking to generate 5% a week in income potential off of this trade. So of those 3 trades, we would be doing trades that would make in excess, have the potential to make in excess of 3% a day, 3 times a week. That's obviously 9% a week. We know that some of those trades are not going to work. I'd be actually happy if only 2 out of 3 actually worked for us. So if we shoot for a goal of 9% gross income and we net out 5% a week, 20% a month, 240% a year, of course, that would be awesome. If we could do that, going to try to hold our drawdowns down to 2 to 3 times, somewhere in that range, 2 to 3 times what our potential income is. So if we have the potential to make $200 on a trade, obviously we wouldn't want to lose more than $400 to $600. That should give us positive expectancy over the life cycle of the trading system. We are going to trade the EES futures contracts, and so just kind of filling this out again. This is the first video of the series that we'll make, tracking these, refining our goals, looking at what we're trying to get accomplished in the process. I think that it's a trade that is a pretty straightforward trade. I'm going to trade $10 spreads on this. We're going to enter the strong side of the trade first. We wait until 10:30 in the morning to trade because we are seeing the trends here. You can see that the market opened up pretty much flat today. We look at today's trading. Let's go take a look here. Let's look at some 5-minute bars on just today's session. Here we go. So you can see that we basically started the sell-off right at the open. There's your 7:30 open right there. And we are basically flat on the day. We've been selling off for the whole day. So our trend is obviously down. We want to let that trend establish itself for just a little bit. And then we're going to enter the strong side of the trade. So we're going to sell spreads probably on the call side here. It's looking like, at least right now. And then we'll wait to see if we can put the weak side in later during the day. It is an instant gratification trade. We should know our results, obviously, in a 3-hour period of time. It's not emotional trading. It's mechanical versus discretionary. We are going to follow a specific set of rules. And so we'll see how this goes. We'll wait until our 10:30 hour here. We're about an hour and 15 minutes or so away from entering our first leg. All right, we're setting up for our first opening trade of the day. It's 10:10. We've got about 20 minutes or so. The 10:30 rule is not necessarily a hard and fast rule, but that's the time that we're shooting for, and it looks like it should be appropriate for today because we've got a little bit of a setup here still waiting to take place. You can see as we look at today, that's been the trend line for most of the day today. We've just recently, these are 5-minute bars, we've just recently been able to find some support there and break back up above that. You can see that this line right there, it would be our current support level. That line right there is our current resistance level. And so I'm anticipating that we're going to sell back off here. If we can break down below this again, that would really confirm for us to find the weak side being the put side. We would, of course, sell the strong side, which would be the call side first. If we can break up above here, that would be our most current resistance level. And we might be able to put in a put leg down here instead. So we do have a little bit of time here, about 19 minutes or so, we'll watch this develop. Okay, so it is 10:30. It is time to do our first entry into the trade. We're looking at a chart here that pretty much says everything we've already talked about. We have the initial downside in the marketplace here for most of the opening. We're able to rebound, find some support here, down here on this 2033 level. The resistance was up here at the 2750, so 2733, excuse me, and then the 2750 up here. We weren't able to break back above that. It looks like we are headed negative again here. It'll be interesting to see if we can break down below that, but the trend is still down. We're going to trade to the weak side, so we sell the strong side and we try to defend the weak side. So that means we're going to sell the calls. We're looking at, again, this is a 0 data expiration trade, so we're looking at the April 13th expiration date. Call legs right here. We want to try to maintain that 80% probability of profit or better. So I'm going to look at selling these 27.75s, buying the 27.85s. That's a $10 spread. Showing nap price 50 cents, mid price is 60 cents. Even if I priced it at 60 cents. Excuse me, nap price is 50 cents. Yeah, mid price about 65. That would be about a $2,000 trade there. That's about what my buying power is here, and a $90 profit after commissions. That's darn close to a 5% profit. That's kind of the target that we're shooting for, or better. 3% is what we're looking for. That would be 9% a week. If all of them worked out, we know that we're going to have some that we're going to have to correct and some that we're going to take losses on. But I'm going to send this at 60 cents, and that does fill at 60 cents. So there's our entry point right there. If you look at our trade, you can see that in the curve. There's our trade right there. We are in the trade. We'll now let that work for just a moment and see what we do here. Generally, we're going to pick up our next trade at 11:30. Okay, it's 11:30. We're an hour into our 3-hour trading block today. We put in the call leg on our futures trade, and you can see it's been reacting fairly nicely to what we've been doing. We're still in this downtrend. We did have a little bit of a rebound down here. We've sold back off once again to that level. Might have an opportunity here to put in the put leg, maybe somewhere down in here, maybe that 2,700 level or so. So again, just to reiterate kind of what we did, we sold this 60 credit on the call leg. That, again, was about a $2,200 trade, brought in about $90, 4.5% rate of return on that trade. So that was a nice trade. It's doing well so far. I'm going to try to look at putting in the put leg here and see if we can match that up. And again, maybe trying to get down below the lows of the day today, which were around the 27.10 level or so. If I look at maybe these 26.85s and the 26, let's see, let's clear this out, 26.85s, 26.75s, that would still give us a nice credit. I got 4 contracts on the call side, so I want to do 4 contracts on the put side. Let's see what that brings in. Okay, I think I found the trade here that I'm looking at. I'm going to look at the 26.90s and the 26.80s. 26.90 would be down in this range, down here at the bottom of the chart. And that does seem to be a good range to give us some potential. Would bring in $93 if we could get a 60-cent fill. I don't know if we can get that 60-cent fill. I'll let that sit for just a minute. Let's rework that order. Let's replace it maybe with a 55-cent trade. That would bring in $83, and we get filled. So that's another $83 on the trade. So we're now looking roughly here at, again, roughly about a $2,200 trade right there. And I've brought in net. This is not this our extrinsic or our cost on the trade doesn't cover or doesn't attribute the commission cost to the trade. So our net was 93 on the first trade, 83 on the second trade. Just want to see an idea of what this return could be. 93 plus 83, that's obviously $176 divided by our $2,200 investment. That's an 8% return potential. Still not done with the day yet, obviously, but 8% potential on the day. That could end up being a very, very nice trade. And we'll redefine our legs here with our support resistance lines so that we know exactly where we can trade within. An easy way to do this is look at it in this curve analyses. And let's just maybe do that. That's the easiest. You can kind of see right there where the market is at, where our put and call legs are. And again, we've got probably 2 hours left for our trading session here. We're an hour into our trading day, 2 more hours left to go before we try to see if we can close these out. It's about 12:30. This is hour 2 of our 3-hour trading session, and just checking in on our ES trade. Take a look at the charts here. You can see that it was about 10:30 right there. Is where we got in, where we sold our call leg. Obviously, the trend was down, so we sold the strong leg first, which was the call leg, and then our 11:30 hour, about 1 hour into our trading session of the day, right in here, we were able to find some support down in here. We'd had some previous support back in here. We sold the put leg down here at the 2,700 level, so we do have a full iron condor in place. Got the calls and the puts that we have sold. We brought in a total net of all commissions, fees, and charges, a net of about $176 on $2,200 investment. It's about an 8% or so potential rate of return. If we do exit early, obviously we're going to give some of that back. But ever since then, that 11:30 trade, this last hour, we've been just sort of came up a little bit, down a little bit, just kind of hovering around this 50-point loss in the E-mini futures contract. So we'll continue to watch this. We've got about 1 hour left in our trading session. Okay, we are nearing the 1:30 hour, about 1:27 right now. Final third hour of our trading day, and really it's been a pretty uneventful day. As far as a very first recorded trade beta example of this, I don't know if it's going to be a good one or a bad one. Because we didn't need to do any adjustments, we didn't need to take any losses, we didn't need to really add or subtract it all to the trade. So there wasn't a lot of work going into today's trade. I mean, obviously it would be wonderful if every single day we could trade like this and just throw the trade on and kind of let it do its own thing. We sold that call leg going into the weakness here this morning. We were able to put a put leg in here at a reasonable level. I felt we've been pretty equidistant most of the day. Popped up there a little bit ago. That's what are we looking at, 5-minute candlesticks. So that was about 15 minutes ago. We had a nice pop in that. If we look at the trade in the curve, we can look at this and get a little bit of an idea still of where we're at. We haven't had too much really movement today. But that's one of the reasons why we wait until 10:30. We had a market open that was basically flat, and then we were down 50 plus points at one point. So we wanted to let the trend determine itself kind of before we got into this trade. This is where we're at right now with 30 minutes to go in the trading session. Honestly, in my past trading of this strategy here, so you can look at this ES trade right here. This is showing gross amounts, put up about $2,200, brought in $230. We know that the actual net number was about 176 because this doesn't account for the commissions and fees. But anyway, it's about roughly 10% trade, put up about $2,200, brought in about $200 or so. And normally I would let this trade run its course. We've extracted most of the profit out of it. You can see there's only $39 or $44 right now. It's bouncing around a little bit, $44 of extrinsic value still left in the trade. Normally, I would want to capture that, and I would say, hey, I'm going to hold on to this trade until the closing. This last half hour of trading, at least for right now, guys, this is when the craziness happens. This is when markets shoot up or shoot down. So we are going to go ahead and book our profit on this trade. We could have set this trade up right at the get-go. Probably should have done that. If you right-click on all those, you can go close and you can target a profit. You could say, hey, just automatically exit me out of this darn thing when I hit 80% profit level, or whatever level we decide to set. We could have done that. But I'm going to try to see what we can get on this price-wise. It's showing an at price of 35 cents. I'm going to try 25. If you look at the numbers there, that's going to cost us, we're going to give up 60 bucks of profit potential. So we brought in 176. We'd be given 63 of that, 64 of that back. But it probably makes sense to do that just from a prudent standpoint in today's crazy marketplace. Let's see if I can get that filled at a 25-cent debit. It's now showing mid-price about 28. I'm going to let this sit for maybe 5 minutes and see what we get. Yeah, and it's not cooperating. Just in those couple of minutes that I let that sit, we went from about 33, 34 points down to now we're down 29 points. So it is at least trying somewhat to come back, and that's hurting our pricing. I'm trying to get out of this whole trade at a 25-cent debit, and it's pricing it around 40 cents right now. Again, there's our trade right there. These two were our entry points. There was our call leg. There was our put leg. So we're in the trade with a credit of about about $1.15. And so again, if we could even get out at even the current price of 45 cents, that would be a nice profit for the day. I'm going to try a little bit different approach because we do seem to be coming back. We do seem to be powering here into the close. I'm going to try to just close the call leg, leave this put leg open, see if that can save us any capital. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel this full iron condor trade close order. And we'll see here if I look at this. Let's go back to the table, look at our positions, and get rid of the puts here. Just try to close the call leg. And let's see what that would cost us. That might, that's not much better, really. There's no real profit left. There's no real cost left in the put leg. Probably doesn't make sense to mess with that anyway. But I'll bet you, I don't know if we're going to get 30 cents on that. I'm going to try that. I'm going to try to send that for 35 cents or 30 cents. That'd be $67 would be the cost. It's not going to let me close out both of them. I don't have the buying power to just do one side of the leg. So I'm going to go ahead, go back. Let's try to close out this whole thing again. Again, we're in it at about $1.15 is our cost. And showing mid price is about 35, 40 cents. 40 cents, that'd be $93. That's about as much as I want to give up on this trade before we have to alter it. So I'm going to try to send that 40 cents, and I'm going to let that sit for just a moment. Okay, I just got filled at 40 cent debit. So there you go. We're in at a total price of $1.15, out at a debit of 40 cents. That's a $93 debit. So I got to minus out. Let's see where that ends us for the day. Brought in a total credit net of commissions. This is always net after fees and commissions. This is what goes into our pocket, minus taxes, of course. 176 is what we brought in. Subtracting 93 gives me an $83 profit. $83, I'm just writing this down. $83 profit on our 2150 divided by 2150. 3.8%, about 3.9% for the day. That's right where we want it to be. We want to bring in 3% a day, 3 days a week, 3 hours of trading per day. That's 9% gross a week. We know that not all of them are going to work. So if we have one loser or several that we need to adjust or manage, hopefully we can still shoot for that goal of making 5% a week And that would be a nice growth vehicle for us. So there you go, guys. There's a 3.9% trade for the day.